Senator Marco Rubio once said, "The Second Amendment is a constitutional right." I did not make it up. The Republican Party did not make it up. It's in the Constitution. I think it's just as important as any other rights in the Constitution. Being in the Constitution, the Second Amendment must stand and not be changed or discarded. As citizens of the United States, if you and I allow the government to do anything to this amendment, then what keeps the government from changing or deleting other amendments? My family and I own firearms and enjoy the memories made and to be made around going out and shooting and hunting. I've done research into why the government should not be able to touch the Second Amendment. So close your eyes and imagine living in a country where the government has the power to change, add, and remove any part of the Constitution they please. Is that a country you want to live in? In this speech, first I will discuss the Second Amendment in its entirety. Second, I will talk about the perception of firearms that has caused this outcry against the Second Amendment. And lastly, I will discuss a solution that benefits all sides of the debate. So first, what does the Second Amendment say? The Washington Post states, "The Second Amendment does not say states can have a militia. It does not say only certain people can have weapons. Had the Founding Fathers wished to say these things, they would not have explicitly stated, 'The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.'" This article also states that the right of people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed is sometimes cut off. The Post states, "Selden plays the same trick played by former Chief Justice Warren Burger. He complains that the National Rifle Association reads only half of the amendment. Then he proceeds to only read half of it himself, the first half. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, cannot stand on its own. It is not even a complete sentence. The second half of the amendment carries its meaning. It states in ringing terms, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." Because of certain tragedies, firearms are being scorned for the evil deeds of man. Guns are not the issue, the people behind them are. Dennis A. Hennigan states, "Guns don't kill people, people kill people." Every instance of a mass shooting, there was a deranged soul behind the trigger. The New York Times states that Stephen Paddock, the man responsible for the despicable shooting at a concert in Las Vegas, struggled with, among other things, bipolar disorder. Now, this does not mean that people with bipolar disorder are mass murderers, but this and the other mass killers shows that people should not be scared of a normal person owning firearms. Now, there is a solution to this problem of the Second Amendment that satisfies all parts in this debate. Screening every person buying a firearm at a gun show or store would result in lower shootings and murders. CNN states that anywhere besides Chicago and New York, someone can go to a gun show and buy a firearm without being screened. This is unacceptable. UniversityWire.com states, "A simple background check for every gun sale would aid in preventing shootings." More screenings or not, touching the Second Amendment is unconstitutional and should not be allowed. In this speech, I have gone over what the Second Amendment says in its entirety. I have stated that the guns themselves are not the issue. It is the people behind the gun. And finally, I showed a solution to the problem. That is the reason why people fight against the Second Amendment. Adding, subtracting, or changing the Second Amendment in any way is unconstitutional and should not be allowed. The Constitution is what this nation was built on, the Second Amendment included. This amendment was not formed so people can run around shooting at whatever and whenever they want. If one says that people's right to own firearms should be taken away, then what is stopping the government from changing any aspect of the Constitution that this nation was founded